January 6, 2025. And sure enough, there's all kinds of interesting stuff going on in the world. Trump was certified as number 47. We've got a bunch of sickness of different varying styles happening out there. There's reports saying that Israel and Turkey may be getting into it. That would be bad. And some other stuff going on as well in the Middle East and in Russia or Ukraine, depending on how you term it. And then, of course, all the other domestic problems, just all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of crises in the world. There's never a shortage on the crisis report. There's always something going on. So, yeah, thanks for being here. Sorry, I'd reminisce on my video I made earlier today, the ITEHIL. Reverse osmosis filter. I haven't done a product review in quite some time. And I actually talked the entire family into doing it because, you got to have different people. And my wife is real methodical, so she's good at reading directions and stuff like that. And I got my son involved. And I got my 10-year-old daughter involved. She's the one opening the box. 13-year-old was in her room probably putting on makeup because she's all into that stuff now. But anyway, yeah, it's a cool system. Really is. And if you're into prepping or emergency preparedness, you would really, really be remiss not to have one of these systems, because the thing that's so different is, when you think of reverse osmosis, you think of it being not portable. You think of it being stationary under your sink. This thing goes anywhere, and it can be charged, and it really, I'm impressed. That's why I keep talking about it. If it was crappy, I'd be like, yeah, you never hear about it again. No, this thing is cool. I'm glad I own it. So check it out. There is a link in the description. I'll put it on this sucker too. I'm going to start to add it as one of my affiliates. But there is a link where you get 20% off. And so that's a good amount. And there's people right now. We went without water last weekend. Literally. This thing could not have timed out better. We went without water last weekend. And it's not fun. So when you get thrust into, 19th century time and it's 2025 and you're like, ruh-roh, not good. So anyway, glad to have you here. It's late. I know we've been doing these super late and everything, but we're going to do the crisis report now. It's Monday fun day. Hopefully you're digging out or good, or maybe you're in a tropical place and you didn't get hit at all. Supposedly another storm is coming on the heels of this, especially if you're in the south, like Georgia. So get ready, get ready, get ready. We're going to do our crisis report now for January 6th, 2025. Here we go. North Korea has reportedly launched multiple ballistic missiles. India detects 2 cases of the Chinese HMPV virus country, and then the ICMR detected 2 cases. They are doing routine surveillance, multiple respiratory viral pathogens. That's what they do. That is the Indian Council of Medical Research. So they're kind of like their own little NIH or whatever. And they're worried about these respiratory illnesses popping up over the country because they were in Hong Kong and Malaysia and China, and now they're getting into India. So they say that the health ministry is working to confirm the virus is related to China. The patient of the virus said to be a child, no history of it. There is no emergency as of now. People should stay calm, they said. India reported its 3rd case right after all this. State of Gujarat. And then after the 2 HMPV in Bengaluru, it was found in Gujarat this Monday. It's a 2-month-old baby. No official confirmation yet, but they are pretty much saying this is what they think it is. According to the ICMR, 2 infants, 1 3-month-old, female 8-month-old, were tested positive for it. Believed to have China is believed to have been overwhelmed with all this stuff. So, what is HMPV? 2001, they figured it out. It's Pneumoviridae family. It's like RSV. We've had it for about 60 years. Been all over the world. Young children, older adults, weakened immune systems, they're the ones that's got to worry. Incubation period of 3 to 5 days. Wearing a mask, washing hands, and doing all the usual protocols. They, of course, say are what you should do. I think washing your hands is the best. HMPV, they don't want you to take antivirals. They want you to only take it if you have to. People do take too many of those. It's just best for you to just drink a lot of water, maybe take some elderberry, vitamins and stuff. According to my opinion, you can do whatever you want to do. This isn't advice. It's just what I do. And you know what? It works for me. So, anyway, China, India, it's all having problems with this now. 2023, it was detected in Netherlands, Britain, Finland, Australia, Canada, U.S., China. Alarming increase of sudden deaths for people 40 to 80. China's facing a surge in multiple viruses. Supposedly hospitals are getting overwhelmed. They're also worried about white lung cases. I got a great email from one of my subscribers, Happy Gardner, said they think that vitamin A and E might help in all of this. So if you're just deficient in vitamins, you need to eat better, you need to sleep better, you need to go out and get the sun, and you need to, consider doing things to get those vitamins into you. So, countries where this is happening: China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and India. It's already in circulation in India, they said. It's rising. And the ICMR said the circulation, globaling, including India, is going to keep going. It's noted that India is well equipped. Of course, everybody's well equipped. And so hopefully it just stays like this, a nice prepper video, and that's about it. North Korea fired a medium-range ballistic missile during U.S. Secretary of State Blinken's visit to Seoul. South Korean military announced that the missile was launched at noon, shortly after Blinken's meeting with South Korean acting President Choi Song-mok. They're going to try and impeach them. Evidently, if you're not like a leftist communist from, the Korean, their party, then you need to be impeached. Japanese Coast Guard announced that parts of the missile fell into the sea. Sudanese leader General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan has accepted Turkey's mediation offer to resolve ongoing conflict. Turkish initiative aims to provide dialogue between the army and the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, for peace. Turkey launched this initiative following mediation efforts led by the U.S. and Saudi Arabia that failed to end the conflict. Regional power, Turkey hopes to play an important role in facilitating negotiations and promoting peace in Sudan. Hamas has provided a list of 34 hostages it is willing to release as part of a potential ceasefire agreement with Israel. The list includes 10 women, 11 elderly men, and 50 to 85, and young children previously reported killed in an Israeli airstrike. Ceasefire negotiations resumed in Doha, Qatar over the weekend, but have not been made significant progress. Hamas official stated that any agreement to return Israeli hostages would depend on Israel's withdrawal from Gaza and a permanent ceasefire, according to the BBC. U.S. is going to ease aid restrictions for Syria in limited show of support for the new government. The U.S. is easing some aid restrictions for Syria in a limited effort to support the country's new government led by a coalition of opposition groups. This move allows humanitarian organizations to deliver essential supplies like water and electricity without case-by-case approvals. More than 20 killed in the latest Israeli attacks on Gaza, according to reports. 24 people have been killed in the latest attacks carried out by the Israeli military in the Gaza Strip. Palestinians news agency Wafa reported on Sunday. citing medical sources. 3 people were killed in an attack in Burej camp, and there were deaths and injuries in the Nusrat refugee camp and in the area around Khan Yunis, it's said. Despite a weeks-long ceasefire in the absence of hostilities between Israel and southern Lebanon, Israeli forces continue to systematically demolish the homes of displaced Lebanese civilians. Taiwan claims a Chinese vessel damaged an undersea internet cable near its northeast coast. Ship Shunjing 39, registered under the Cameroonian flag, allegedly disrupted the Trans-Pacific Express system. Authorities suspect the incident may be part of China's strategy to sever Taiwan's external communications. Taipei has requested South Korea to detain the vessel for investigation. IRGC spokesperson: Iran has never halted missile production for a single day, and our air defense systems are fully operational, upgraded in many cases. Zionists are plagued by delusions and miscalculations. Macron accuses Elon Musk of interfering on Europe. 10 years ago, who would have imagined it would be been told that the owner of one of the largest social networks in the world would support a new international reactionary movement and intervene directly in elections? Also, who would have believed that so many leftists would have done such a crappy job at running countries? Israel accuses Egypt of violating peace agreement. Israeli security establishment says they detected Egyptian military activity in central Sinai, allegedly breaching the peace agreement. Initial findings indicate logistical preparations and the construction of armored obstacles which could impede Israeli forces in a potential future conflict, according to Hillel Bitan. Contrary to the peace agreement, Egypt is building obstacles and conducting military operations in Central Sinai. High-level discussions with Egypt are ongoing to address the issue. Outgoing U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Biden administration is working intensively to secure a Gaza ceasefire within the next few weeks. If we don't achieve it in 2 weeks, I'm confident it will be completed eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later. Outgoing U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Biden administration... sorry, that's a doubler. Former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Man, that guy's lost some weight. It is high time for the United States and the global community to recognize Taiwan as an independent and sovereign nation. The United States government should immediately take necessary and long overdue steps to do the right and obvious thing, which is to offer the Republic of China or Taiwan America's diplomatic recognition as a free and sovereign country. This is a moral imperative, a strategic necessity, and a rightful acknowledgement of the democratic processes that define a true sovereign state. We should declare that Taiwan is a sovereign and independent nation because it is in our own interest, and it's simply true. French forces in Chad began their withdrawal from Chad at the request of the Chadian government. Zelensky demands more money from Trump. Zelensky offered Trump to give him $300 billion in Russian assets, which Ukraine would use to buy weapons from the United States. Reform leader Nigel Farage responded to Elon Musk, who yesterday, of course, took a swipe at him. Said, "I'm sorry that Elon Musk disagrees with me, but I won't change reform for anyone, and he doesn't know the full story about Tommy Robinson," according to the Daily Mail. Iran is on the brink of a nuclear bomb. Macron said this. He said Iran's disputed uranium enrichment drive is nearing a point of no return. A week ago, Biden held talks about the idea of bombing the nuclear facilities in Iran. A near record 2.8 million people are out of work due to long-term sickness in the UK, as the country is on track to become one of the largest spenders on health-related benefits, according to the Telegraph. Electric car range can plummet by up to 40% in winter, a new test has revealed. LGBTQ liberals in the United States have started to arm themselves over the baseless fear that they're going to be rounded up into concentration camps under Trump. Maybe it's because they're insane. Trump renews calls for Canada to merge with the United States shortly after Trudeau resigned. NATO member states will increase their military presence in the Baltic Sea. The aim is to prevent Russia from carrying out further acts of sabotage on marine cables. Key submarine communication cable connecting Taiwan to the U.S. West Coast was severed, impacting the Trans-Pacific Express system. Taiwanese authorities have blamed this on the Cameroon flag ship Chunjing 39, which is owned by Jiyang Trading Limited, Hong Kong-based company with a Chinese citizen as director. Ship is due to the dock in Busan, South Korea, where the captain will be interrogated at Taiwan's request. Incident coincides with a series of aggressive actions by China since the U.S. election. These include hacking the U.S. Treasury Department, conducting massive naval exercises, deploying ships aggressively in the South China Sea, launching the world's largest amphibious warship, being accused of sabotaging undersea cables across Asia and Europe, imposing harsh export controls on U.S. firms, unveiling new advanced aircraft, practicing a naval blockade near Japanese island, and a drone in a pear tree. North Korea launched an intermediate ballistic missile towards the Western Sea, who is believed to have fallen outside of Japanese EEZ, according to a government official. News: the Israeli army does not intend to withdraw from the buffer zone inside Syria at this stage, while the website stated. Israel Channel 13, the political leadership announced in a meeting held by Netanyahu its desire to maintain an Israeli presence in sites in southern Lebanon. United States State Department. Blinken is going to meet European foreign ministers in Rome on Syria on Thursday. So he's going to Rome to meet about Syria on Thursday. Blinken's meeting with European ministers is aimed at supporting a peaceful and inclusive political transition under the new Syrian government. A number of militants, including the head of the Department of Military Operations, were killed in an ambush set up by Assad supporters in Latakia. A number of militants, including the head of the Department of Operations, killed in it's doubler. Egypt officially denies the news spread by the Israeli media about an intention to attack Yemen. Israel starts inciting against Egypt, specifically Sinai. Netanyahu-affiliated Hebrew Channel 14 states, excuse me, Egypt violates the peace agreement and establishes military obstacles within its own territory. Israeli security establishment has detected military activity by the Egyptian army in central Sinai, constitutes a violation of the peace agreement with Israel. According to initial reports, Egyptian military activity in central Sinai includes logistical preparations and the construction of various obstacles in the area, potentially hindering Israeli forces' operations in the event of a future military confrontation. Hillel Bitton, Israeli Channel 14 journalist, states, "We published in the edition, contrary to the peace agreement with Egypt, the defense establishment identifies military activity in central Sinai, including logistical preparations and the construction of armored obstacles in the area which, if God forbid, a military conflict develops in the future, could harm the activities of our forces. At both the senior political and security level, discussions are being held with the Egyptians on the matter." This one I might be covering tomorrow, but Politico magazine has compiled a list of the unlikely but possible unexpected events this year with global consequences, compiled by futurologists and forecasters. Number one, largest cyber attack in history will take down almost all infrastructure in the world. Mass epidemic in the U.S. clashes in the country due to changes in state borders. World market collapse and panic. That's the one I think will happen. Trump, Putin, and Xi's unexpected geopolitical alliance in Ukraine. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Possible coup in Belarus. Overthrow Lukashenko. Yeah, possible. Secret agreements between the USA, Russia, Iran, and Israel on the nuclear issue. Maybe. Black Swan events seem in swing right now. Cause of a mass service failure in the Russian Federation was an accident on the backbone network of one of the telecom operators. It has already been fixed, Roskomnadzor has reported. A video has gone viral on Chinese social media calling on China to take advantage of Russia's weakening and seize large swaths of its territory. They don't trust each other, folks. I'm telling you. They want to come out like they're buddy-buddy, but we missed a real opportunity. We could have Russia squarely in our camp, and Russia and China now are, okay with each other, but China has always looked up at Russia being like, man, you got a lot of land up there. I don't know if you need all that. So, just saying. Angry farmers are approaching Paris, bypassing the police force set up to contain them in the town of Orville. Azerbaijan claims that the first time in a long time it was fired upon from the territory of Armenia and on disputed border. Iran's nuclear program is approaching the point of no return, Macron warns. After Biden, it is Macron's turn to sound the alarm. Western intelligence services seem to have concrete information on an imminent proliferation of Iran. Yesterday, Trump's team had been considering strikes on Iran regarding the latest developments. China's recent advancements in 6th-gen fighters, specifically J-36 and J-50 models, have significantly impacted Lockheed Martin's stock prices. Following the unveiling of these jets, Deutsche Bank downgraded Lockheed Martin's stock rating from buy to hold. Due to ongoing military exercises across the country, NOTAMs have been issued, leading many airlines operating in Iranian airspace to reroute flights through alternatives like Iraqi airspace. Consequently, most flights within Iran are now either departing from or arriving in the country. Russia has captured the key city of Kharkov, Donbass, marking its latest advance since the beginning of the Ukraine war. Reports indicate that Russian forces have recently taken control of a significant amount of areas, including Kharkov, and moving towards the important logistics center of Pokrovsk. Poland has reported that that of the 1,200 aircraft currently in Russia, only 550 are nearing the end of their operation life cycle. According to reports, Iran's president's trip to Moscow, scheduled for January 17th, has been canceled. President Joe has announced a significant ban on offshore drilling aimed at protecting marine ecosystems and addressing climate rearrange, or you know what I mean. This decision reflects the administration's commitments to transitioning towards cleaner energy sources and reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Communications operators, banks, and internet services down in Russia. Users of Down Detector report issues with MTS Bank, and Kion streaming services. Customers of T-Bank, Alpha Bank, and SureBank cannot access online banking. Additionally, users are facing problems with Google, Yandex, Vkontakte, YouTube, and other services. The cause of the outage is still unclear. Olaf Scholz has dismissed rumors regarding a potential meeting with Vladimir Putin, labeling the speculation as deeply inappropriate. German Chancellor responded to claims about a possible trip to Moscow, emphasizing that there are no plans for such a visit. Last Russian submarine, Novorossiysk, has withdrawn from the Mediterranean Sea, marking the end of Russia's submarine presence in the region. According to reports, approximately 12,000 North Korean soldiers have been deployed to Ukraine in support of Russian forces, with 3,800 casualties killed or wounded reported. South Korea's military estimates around 1,100 casualties among these troops, while Ukrainian President Zelensky claims that the number is closer to 11 billion. The high casualty rates are attributed to their role in frontline assaults with minimal protection against Ukrainian forces. In a significant political shift in Austria, the far-right Freedom Party, FPO, led by Herbert Kickl, has emerged victorious in the recent parliamentary elections, securing approximately 29% of the votes. This marks the first time since World War II that a far-right party has gained such prominence amid rising concerns over immigration and the war in Ukraine. Despite its success, no other parties are willing to form a coalition with FPO. Kamala Harris has certified her own defeat, declares Trump winner of the 2024 U.S. election. Canadian dollar is surging on reports Justin Trudeau is resigning. Canada's stock market, TSX Composite, is now up nearly 100 points because they want that POS to leave. Trump has been officially certified as the 47th president of the United States. Brazil announces Indonesia's entry into BRICS. That's coming. Elon Musk, the people of Greenland should decide their future, and I think they want to be part of America. Maybe. Donald Trump Jr. is expected to visit Greenland on Tuesday, a local government official told Reuters. Dozens of Ukraine soldiers training in France have deserted, according to French army to AFP. U.S. records its first human bird flu death. Health authorities have stated. I have did a little video on that over on PrepperNow. White House hails Trudeau as a stalwart friend of the United States. Thanks, buddy. McDonald's is the largest company to roll back diversity goals. In a surprise move, UFC chief Dana White will join the board of directors for Meta Platforms, tech giant that owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un says new hypersonic missile system can deter Pacific rivals. France has detected its first case of a new Mpox virus. Elon Musk has backed bill to deport illegal immigrants convicted of sex crimes. The House that'll get a vote next week. I agree with that one. Elect Trump. I am hearing that the people of Greenland are MAGA. My son, Don Jr., and various representatives will be traveling there to visit some of the most significant areas and sites. 19-year-old woman's breasts stunningly grew from a B cup to a triple G in the 6 months following her ronajabination by Pfizer, in what researchers are calling a first-of-its-kind case, according to the New York Post. I don't know where to go with that one. What is wrong with Canada? Extreme Islamist organization banned in Germany and the United Kingdom is hosting a conference in Mississauga to discuss obstacles to reestablishing an Islamic caliphate. Hizb ut-Tahrir Canada is promoting its Khalifa conference, translating to caliphate, which is set to take place at noon on January 18th in Mississauga, Ontario. Several speakers at the Khalifa conference are scheduled to talk about the group's ideological goals, grievances, obstacles to reconstituting an Islamic caliphate. They also plan to discuss their support for Palestinians in the conflict. Promotional video for the conference, Hizb ut-Tahrir follower romanticizes the glory of former caliphates, promising that the Muslim world will rise up again to reestablish the caliphate. Prime Minister Netanyahu, we will reach the despicable murderers and bring them to justice everywhere who help them. No one will be spared. Clearly talking about the 10 723 thing. Revolutionary Guard spokesperson, the previous attacks on Israel were a small part of our capabilities. The Zionist enemy knows that its skies are open and defenseless against us. We have never stopped missile production. The production rate is increasing every day. We will soon unveil new and advanced missiles and drones, and we will also unveil missile cities across Iran. Wonderful. Hamas has criticized thousands of new terrorists in the Gaza Strip. Hamas has recruited, I don't know where I get criticized from, recruited thousands of these people in Gaza. Israel security sources say that Hamas's military wing has recruited thousands of new terrorists who have undergone military training. The IDF is preparing to occupy Gaza City and reduce humanitarian aid to the Strip if it talks on a hostage deal fail. IDF Arabic spokesperson, South Lebanon warning. Residents are reminded not to move south of the village line or return to the specified villages until further notice. IDF does not intend to target civilians, but anyone moving south of the line risks danger. Villages include Dakhra, Tebach, Nakhura, Bint Javil, Marjayun, Shabach, and over 50 others. Stay safe in these zones. Trump on the threat that there would be hell if the hostages were not released by his inauguration. That's exactly what I meant. If the hostages are not released by the time I take office, there will be hell. The hostages need to be released now, he said. Wall Street Journal editorial sharply attacked U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken for knowing the real time that his criticism of Israel was holding back a deal to release the hostages, and yet they continued with it, and that Biden's political considerations kept an agreement away. Article also accuses Biden of taking Trump's view of Israel's success in attacking the Iranian axis, even though all along Biden and his people tried to stop Israel's war machine. Trump advisors admit Iran's nuclear program is so advanced for military action may be necessary. After a November meeting, Israeli Minister Ron Dermer believed Trump might support a strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. A senior diplomat says Iran's breakout time is now just days, making it a top G7 priority for 2025. Is someone afraid? Well, the Revolutionary Guard announced today that they have placed several new and secret air defense systems near sensitive facilities in Iran. Earlier, a Revolutionary Guard spokesman said that defense units are conducting exercises near the Natanz nuclear facility. 6.9 magnitude earthquake, city of Shigatse in Tibet, China. Prime Minister of Great Britain has threatened Trump with a war against Europe. Keir Starmer stated that support for American officials for the AfD and Nigel Farage would be considered a declaration of war on Europe. Prime Minister emphasized that such actions undermine the unity of the EU and pose a threat to democratic values on the continent. Influencer Andrew Tate launched the Bruv Party and says he will run for Prime Minister of Britain, and X immediately suspended his account. Air Canada plane was flying and the wing turned into a fireball during a terrifying landing. Taiwan activates its HIMARS after receiving 11 units from the U.S. Marks the initial phase of the 29-unit procurement within the remaining 18 set for delivery by 2026. Package also includes 64 Army Tactical Missile Systems, or ATACMS. HIMARS, renowned for the mobility and precision, can launch rockets with a 70-kilometer range, and ATACMS missiles capable of hitting targets up to 300 kilometers away. Biden White House, China can close down ports, power grid. Biden White House said that stunning admission the Chinese hackers have the ability to cripple the American power grid and ports. Since the election, China hacked the U.S. Treasury Department. China's conducted largest naval drills in decades. China's deployed ships in strength on the South China Sea. China launched the world's biggest amphibious warship. China accused of sabotaging undersea cables in Asia and Europe. China imposed crippling export controls and sanctions on U.S. firms. Unveiled new advanced aircraft, J-35, J-36, J-115T, and the DKG-3000 or KJ-3000. Practiced a naval blockade near Japanese islands for the first time. Continues to execute the worst telecom hack in history, which comprised DJT and JDV devices. Seoul Metropolitan Police have effectively refused to take in task of enforcing the president's arrest warrant, according to Jan Happ. It happens after the last time Russian officers of the Seoul Police had to face units of the Presidential Security Services, or PSS, 55th Homeland Defense Infantry Division, South Korean Army, which blocked them from doing the task of arresting President Yoon. Several unidentified drones spotted over Mildenhall and Lakenheath military bases in England. Bases have been put on high alert. Yep. Promising candidate for Prime Minister and leader of Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, vows to reverse all Trudeau failed policies by placing Canada first, cutting taxes, ending immigration, and stopping the rising crime rates and fix the budget of Canada. And Times Square, Manhattan, a short time ago, there was a mass prayer in Union Square, downtown Manhattan. The man in the middle is wearing a Hamas headband. Folks, that is your crisis report for January 6, 2025. Check out the link in the description. Check out the product review on PrepperNow. Check out the latest avian flu video. Check out the HMPV video from earlier. Keep doing the things, okay? Appreciate you. You can be one of the cool kids and join and be a member. That'd be great. $2 a month helps the cause. NorCal Girl is one. NorCal Gal. Thank you. Bad Bobber's a member. Roger McKeon's a member. Yeah, join us. It's a great way to keep the lights on. $2 a month. Not much for you. And it works. So, also links in the description for other places. But God bless you all. We're tired. We're going to go to bed. We got life happening again. We got to start to get ready for the next snowstorm. We'll see you on the next one.